You guys are doing a daily video challenge where we're going to be uploading videos every single day until July 30th for the opening of Functional Taekwondo School. So if you guys can make any contribution, big or small helps, just click the link down below or click the card up above. Today's video, we're going to be talking about how martial arts, traditional martial arts, are no longer arts.
Like they're actually
anymore.
less of an art than what you see in mixed martial arts. Like mixed martial arts is much more.
It's truly more art.
Now you're probably like, what the fuck? We're dancing and shit in traditional martial arts. What the hell are you talking about? Well, your dance is choreographed very strictly, and it's under the premise of, a lot of the time, we need to preserve this knowledge.
Knowledge.
Yeah, sure. So...
That was a Ty Lopez joke. Okay.
Yeah, it's just... It's not creative. It really isn't. Like, you're put into this, like, cookie cutter program.
Cookie one.
Cookie cutter program where you're just... You gotta bow the same, like, you gotta try to dress the same.
You can almost look the same in a way.
Yeah, you gotta try to
like, beards are not okay.
And long hair.
Yeah.
I got hated on all the time in my traditional school.
Yeah.
I haven't heard shit in jiu-jitsu, and it actually kind of gets in the way in jiu-jitsu a little bit. I just personally don't give a fuck. Yeah, but there's less creativity there. So how can you call that an art where you're being told exactly what to do for every single thing?
Yeah, and I get the you know, I understand there's structure helps. It does. Like, I know for me that when I'm like with striking, if I have a structured system that I know that I can practice, you know, I have combinations I can practice, or even in jiu-jitsu, I have, you know, certain positions I like to go to. I have a certain structure to how I'm learning some technique. Like, I drill it, structured. Like, honestly, you know, having that is good. You know, Dwayne Lego is a good example of that. You know, he has a structured Muay Thai system, but he also, you know, at the end of the day, you can express however you want to express when you're actually in the ring. The problem with traditional martial arts is that you really, like, here's a good example. In WTF sparring, you do not get a point for a punch if you don't punch from the rib cage. It's the most ridiculous rule I've ever heard. So, and you can't throw hooks, you can't throw uppercuts, you can't throw a punch. It has to be this punch.
So that limits so much creativity that happens.
That's why you don't really see it that much. That's why you don't see punches in Olympic sparring, is because you're compromising the side of your head, first of all, when you do a punch like that, because you can't have your hand protecting yourself. So
you actually see him a little more in the point karate, though.
Yeah, more in the point karate, like do the thing, because you don't get a point unless you do it like that, and it's really stupid, because martial arts, you know, and Bruce Lee even said this, and a lot of you guys like to, you know, call Bruce Lee the god of all martial arts, but when you legitimately hate us for our viewpoints on MMA, you're hating also Bruce Lee, because he's saying the same things we are saying.
He's not as much of a dick, but
yeah, he's not much. He's nicer about it, but he literally is saying the same things we're saying. He's saying that you gotta express yourself. And here's like a quote. It's you know, it's It's something like adapt what is useless. Okay, so take what is useful, throw away what is useless, adapt what's uniquely your own. Adapt what is uniquely your own. So that's essentially saying, throw out all the garbage, you know, take what's useful. So take what's structured and what's useful, take it, but then
express yourself. Use your own creativity, like when you're actually competing or fighting.
Yeah, and we see that, like, awesome in the UFC. Like, there's guys that have their own blend, really.
Like fucking Anderson Silva or Conor
McGregor. Yeah, everyone has their own blend. There's guys who fight with their hands way down, and that they make it work. They make it work somehow, and it's because they're free to express it, and they're free to test things out, as opposed to somebody who tells you gotta be like this, like this, like this. And you know, and it's an old school thinking, and even when it comes to boxing too, there's a lot of boxing coaches. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's like the traditional martial arts.
The traditional martial arts.
The newer arts, the MMA arts.
Yeah, like saying things, you got to throw a jab like this. It's the only way you jab. You can't jab from your hip. You can't jab at this weird angle. You can't cross over the center line.
They get stuck in their ways, but a lot of those things are legit. Like, most of the time, those things are legit.
Oh, very legit.
It's
very
just,
legit. But when you compare it to somebody who has a very unorthodox but knows how to deal with those.
Those problems that are getting thrown at them.
Yeah, and it's a reason why some fighters fight with their hands low, and some people think they can do it, and they really can't because they're at a higher level. Okay.
Oh yeah, they have different head movement, good shoulder positioning. Like,
yeah, and their
good
technique may
footwork.
look bad. They may look bad technique with their, they might drop their hand when they hook, but it's because either for two reasons. One, they're trying to bait an attack. They're trying to bait it. That's the reason they do it. Another reason too is because they're sparring against, and when you're sparring somebody who fights so unorthodox, and you're used to seeing somebody who's fighting very, very structured, you're used to seeing someone who's fighting structured, so you're going to be, countering that all day. But when somebody decides to change it up, it's going to throw you off. And it's kind of like the experience with, functional taekwondo is like, you could throw these fancy kicks because most people haven't seen that stuff.
Yeah, like even I thought a twist kick was absolute bullshit, and I got twist kicked in the fucking face. And I was
Exactly.
like, oh, that shit can actually work. And I started implementing it to my game a little bit, every now and then. Not all the time. It's not a super high percentage move, but it can set something up.
Yeah,
And it's
for
hard
sure.
to see. It's hard to see that shit.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, and if you guys watch my back kick video, the traditional structured way of throwing a back kick was you turn your back, you have your knees brushed together, and I don't think that's very free. That's not free because when you throw a back
That
kick,
can only work in like a certain particular instance. There needs
Yeah.
to be freedom to that technique.
to adjust it, and that's why I throw it more like a side kick now because you can.
It's easier to adjust.
Yeah, you can see, okay, you can check last minute, that person's hands are going down. Obviously, I'm not going to throw a back kick to their elbows, because that's going to suck. So you're just going to pick it up and throw a hook kick. Like, that's the freedom of expression, and that's what martial arts should be. It's freedom, and that's what art is. It's freedom of expression. You can be a dancer, follow a choreographed dance, but the way you do it's different. Not everyone's the same. And you may argue that, forms, we all do, and I heard this argument before, that, you can do forms, but you can do them slightly different. I got hated on so much for the way I did my form that people denied that I was doing black belt taekwondo. And I don't care. You can deny that all you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me anymore. Because I didn't do the forms the way the ITF standards were doing them. Okay? The way I learned forms was different than how... I didn't do the bouncy movement stuff because that's how I wasn't
the
taught.
fucking sine wave. Oh, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
the
We need to talk about that bullshit.
Yeah,
But-
I think we already have it in another
Oh, we
video.
have? Okay.
But because I didn't do it in that structured way that everyone likes to see, I was hated on for. I mean, honestly, I'll get hated on anything for now these days. I get compared to Trump, on every forum on the
Damn,
internet,
okay.
which is whatever. I don't care. But that's. There's lack of freedom there, and we experienced you're not allowed to cross train. That's lack of freedom too. You should be able to cross train. You should train whatever you want. Like if
Yeah.
a person comes up to me and they've been training MMA and they're like, I really want to get into Wing Chun, I'm not gonna stop them. I'm gonna be like,
He's not building walls. You fucking... Sensei's building fucking walls, walling you into his fucking system,
yeah, like
and not letting you express yourself.
I mean, I would be like, well, you know what? I'll just leave him with the Bruce Lee. If anybody's doing that,
He could take a parry jab from Wing Chun. They probably call it some other shit.
like Peak Sao, like,
and he could use that shit.
yeah, some people have made it work, but
He could do like a little like weird back fist every now and then when he's boxing in MMA and make it work, surprise somebody. It's not complete bullshit. There's something there, but a lot of the way it's taught is
it's
shit.
the way it's taught. That's really what it comes down to,
and the closed-mindedness, so it can't progress to something new and better.
Yeah, and another thing too, like I did a podcast recently with Ron JKD, and in the next video I'll give you guys like more details about it, so you guys can watch the whole thing. But it's in that video we talked about Wing Chun a little bit, but then we also talked about how if you had no access to an MMA gym, no access to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, and you only had your Taekwondo, you only had your Wing Chun, if you wanted to improve your art, just fight Vale Tudo style. Fight Vale Tudo style, a lot.
And
like,
you
do
can
that.
make some rules like, hey, don't bite me or poke my
Yeah,
nose.
yeah, of course. And that's in Vale Tudo, like, you can't do that. But when you do that, what you're going to find out is that you're probably going to resort to getting the person in side control and hammer fisting their face. Joe Rogan said
Yeah.
the same thing. These two kung fu guys who did just nothing but kung fu, they had a real fight, no holds barred, and that's one guy tripped, and then the other guy put him in side control, and they hammer fisted him in the face. Like that's probably what's gonna happen to
It's
your
gonna turn
style.
into shitty MMA, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I should try to clean this up, and then it can get more technical and get better.
Yeah, and there are guys that may necessarily not have done boxing or MMA or wrestling, but in the earlier days of the UFC, and even Greg Jackson's an example of this. He didn't start with MMA. He started with karate. But what he did,
I think so. Winklejohn too.
yeah, they started with karate and they decided, screw it, let's go no holds barred and do it like that. And lo and behold, it became, may not have been as great as wrestlers and boxers, but it was something. It started something, and that's when they decided, okay, our wrestling is better than other karate guys for sure because we actually practice
But
it.
it's not like a guy that specializes.
Yeah, specializes, and that's another goal of the FTF is that we know, like, okay, and I'll mention in an older video, we wanted to challenge strictly ITF and WTF people because we believe without doubts that we can kick their ass on the ground, standing up. We can do anything to them just because of our training. Like that's really what we think, and we know that. The reason why we're not challenging people who have a mixed background is because, okay, let's be honest here, we're not at the high level where we can fight against a professional Muay Thai fighter or a professional MMA fighter. Like, we can't. Will we get to that point someday? Yeah, of course. If we keep training, and then yeah, we'll get to that point. But that's how it goes. What was the top of this video anyway? I forgot what went on. Fucking.
Oh, it's less of an art.
Less of an art. So
Traditional martial arts is less of an art than mixed martial arts.
yeah,
There's less artistry and less creativity.
yeah. So if you guys like the video, please like it. If you like, you see, subscribe.